This is DMG, and we're going to be making a water wheel. Now, before we get started with that, we must talk about this being the 100th episode, and the channel has rebuilt itself up from where it was over a year ago. And I'd like to thank everyone who's supported me, and you can now help support the channel by going to playneverwinter.com/the DMG, where it's free to play. Now, if you haven't played this game, it's fantastic. I've played it myself, and I've evaluated it, and I feel it's a great game, and I'd like to get everyone to check it out. You can even create your own dungeons and things in it. Now, let's get this water wheel happening. Okay, so we're going to do a water wheel. So 100 videos, and this is what we come up with. And this is a chip stacking package, which I like to play drums on. Yes, I'm a little bit strange that way. And what we're going to do is we're going to scrape this thing. We're going to just attack it with the craft knife and cut about 2 centimeter wide swath off the top. You know what these things are. I don't need to explain any brands or anything to you. Keep the cap. We'll probably want to use that at some point in the future. Clean where you've cut. And then on the curve, we're going to measure about 2/3 of the way down. Just mark it with a pen or something. And we're going to cut right through on both sides. So you're going to have a big arc and a small arc. Just put the small arc aside. We'll probably use that again in the future. Then we're going to grab some popsicle sticks, and we're going to measure the width of the arc along the popsicle sticks, and you're going to basically do quite a few of these. So in the end, you're probably going to have about 6 popsicle sticks worth, and you want to hold on to the curved bits at the top that we just lopped off there. And we're just going to jump ahead here so we don't have to see all 573,000. Oops, that one broke. I hope no one saw that. And then we'll continue on cutting until we get to this point where we're going to glue it. Now, I should have actually stuck the first one down flat, but it doesn't matter. Perpendicular, and then hot glue, and then flat. And then the next one, hot glue flush up against that. We're going to do perpendicular, and then hot glue, and then flat. And you want it basically to be radiating out perpendicular from the arc that you've got there already. So you're going to go perpendicular, flat, perpendicular, flat. I'm just going to stick that first one on there, as I should have done in the beginning, but it doesn't matter. Then 1,000 League Boots, we'll just jump ahead to the very final piece, and there you have a giant cog like wheelie type sun thing. And then we're going to grab a popsicle stick where we've already cut off the curved piece, and we're going to use that flat piece flush to the bottom, and then we're going to measure radiating out perpendicular on that, and then use hot glue and stick it down for the frame of the wheel. And there you go, hot glue and stick it down. And then you have that piece that's cut off, just turn it over, and then we're going to hot glue and stick it down. So it will be somewhat the right angle. I say somewhat the right angle. You can see there's a bit of a wedge missing there. Now, I'm not an engineer, as you should know by now. This is 100 videos if you've been watching me doing this stuff. Measuring and exact calculations, as you see here, I kind of just had to measure twice there to really figure out what the hell I was doing. And then you cut and hot glue and stick it down. So you're going to continue this on, and you're going to basically want to follow the entire edge so that you now have the side frames of the wheel. And you can obviously see there that there are some gaps forming. That is fine. We have a plan, and we love it when a plan comes together, don't we? A pitiful animal! Anyway, back to the craft. So the last one there, just make sure it's going to be flush with the base, and stick that down so that you've got no any jagging over the edges or anything like that. So there we got it. We've got the side. So this is quite clearly built by goblins. So for those gaps, we are then going to apply some hot glue, and the pieces I told you not to throw away, we're going to use those. So the ends of the popsicle sticks with the curves, you can then use those to stick over the gaps as we have. Doesn't matter if they're cracked, that's all part of the effect, or so we say. Anyway, continuing on, then on top of those, we're going to put some hot glue, and we're going to grab some matchsticks and stick those down. These matchsticks are approximately 5 centimeters long. You'd want to have ones that are going to obviously be long enough to get to the center point of the arc, and you want to hold it up with your finger so that the glue cures and it's level and it's not going to sag down. So you want to make sure that you're getting it to the center point there, and continue on. So now we also want to do the ones at the base, but for that we're going to use one that has split in half. So if you haven't got one that's split in half, just cut one in half, you know, as you would. But the ones that, you know, oftentimes you'll find there are things that will split, and grab those and hot glue and stick them on. So now we've got half of those, and we're going to just grab some hot glue on top of those and our trusty matchsticks to the center as we did before. So now all we need to have is something in the middle, and that is the ones I showed you in the corpse video, the last video that in this series, and that is basically a washer with a piece of cardboard stuck to it, and onto the cardboard just place some hot glue, and then you want the base of that washer to be flush to the bottom. It's not very center, but that doesn't matter, you know, it's the overall effect that works. So hold that in place so that the hot glue will cure, and obviously don't burn yourself. It is hot. Consider yourself warned. Anyway, back to the other side. So rather than showing you the entire process again, we are just going to basically repeat what we did on the other side, bar the spokes. I just didn't do it. If you want to, you can. That's completely up to you. To me, I just don't think it's actually necessary. Well, in a proper water wheel, there probably would be spokes on the other side as well, but you know, this is a goblin water wheel. It's not exactly built to last. Then we're going to hot glue the bottom, stick it to some cardstock. So I'm just using cardstock from the last video because, you know, it was close at hand, and leave about 1.5 to 2 centimeters at each end. And then we're going to stick a popsicle stick onto the side of that washer. I lost the video on that due to a camera malfunction, but it's there somewhere in the ether and your imagination. Then we're going to use one of these bendy straws. So you've seen me use these in the mini magic videos, and you're just going to bend it and cut it off at a diagonals, and this is going to be the water pipe that is spouting water into the top of the water wheel, and hot glue down that, chop off the bottom, and here we have it so far. Now we just need to do some extra bits. So this is the water cascading down the side, one side of the water wheel, so only water will cascade down one side. Now we are going to add a spray effect. Now this spray effect is in Secret Passage video number 1. So if you don't know about the Secret Passage videos, there are hidden videos on my channel. Hidden videos. So you need to start watching from the beginning again and find the puzzles, because there are 2 of them. There are 2 puzzles that will lead you to the Secret Passage videos. But right now we're going to paint this thing. So we're going to use ink as we have previously, or you can use the wood painting techniques, but as you can see, I base painted this thing white and not black. The reason I did this is because of the spray effect and the water and everything. It's better that the water is white than the water is black, so I just did it that way because ultimately it actually will be better off than having to repaint everything white again. So the wood effect is fine on that, so I wouldn't recommend every single crafter to go in white, but occasionally you may want to. So then we just use the poor man's detail brush, which is a toothpick, and use blue paint and just go along all the bits and pieces of the water that's cascading and out of the pipe, and then use black to do the base. So that's going to be a shadow on pretty much anything you place this onto. And it looks pretty much finished now, but we're going to do the Pilly Pow Black Magic Craft Megas crafting technique, which is to use the clear nail polish. I nearly forgot what it was. Anyway, clear nail polish will give you that water look, and will pretty much stay like that. And it's a great cheap alternative to what we've been using before. And this is what it looks like now. I just put it on a tile so you can see it. And that, my friends, is a water wheel. Well, at least I think it is. That's how I make a water wheel. Now, if you like this video, like button. Don't forget, you can also check out playneverwinter.com/the DMG. And there's also my website, thedmg.info, my Facebook page, Google Plus account, email, newsletter, Twitter account. Starting to get like a lot. And now you can just see the end.